What's going on, people? Welcome to the Full View, our review show when we take it all in. You know what I mean? We digest what's happened on the weekend together. A show that we love very much. Obviously, there is a noticeable absentee, a noticeable latey. He's not here yet, so hopefully he pops up. You lot know who it is. We're not even gonna give him the respect as to saying his name. Yeah, we all know who it is. He's not here. So let's hope that person or that thing. No, I don't call him a thing. That's a bit extra. But let's hope that that's very harsh. I'll take that back. Let's hope that person shows up. But Jack, DJ, Owen, obviously great to see you guys this evening. A lot to get into, man. We've gone with Pogba'S future, and Jesse Lingard fights back. Jesse Lingard fights back because after yesterday's goal, it does get you thinking. You know what I mean? I asked a lot of fans at the end of the game as well. Actually, if we're all being honest, I don't think I came across one United fan, and I'm not saying there aren't any out there because there always is on the other side of any opinion. I didn't meet many United fans who said, nah, Jesse 100% should just stay here and fight for his place. He'll be involved next year. Not many people were saying that, if we're being real. They weren't. And then you're kind of looking at it differently. So a lot to get into tonight. Amongst some other stuff, and obviously he said that he's going to start. Ollie said that he's going to start against West Ham as well, which probably always going to happen. Which would be good for him on Wednesday night. Jack, the Paul Pogba situation, though. You know, Raiola was talking during the week. You know, we know that he always likes to talk. That's fine. Romano's had some quotes just basically saying that. Well, Raiola was saying he still likes Juventus, etc., but his mind's still very much at United. Do you see this negotiation, the renegotiation for, you know, Pogba's contract being all right? Should we be fine, or is there still a chance that he could go?
Well, we know, Flex, how much of a PR spin Raiola likes to, you know, to give to the media and kind of different perceptions of how Pogba's feeling at the club. But no, I'm 100%. He's definitely going to renegotiate some sort of contract that's going to be suitable for both parties in terms of money and stuff. But I think Paul Pogba does want to stay at Manchester United. I've said it, especially with the summer business we've done, obviously getting the players we've got on board, and even just seeing, you know, the kind of feel-good factor he's just brought back to the squad himself, the way he reconnects with the fans. I saw him yesterday, obviously walking down the tunnel, and the West Ham fans were cheering him, and then Carrick pulled him in. I saw that video.
That was typical Pogba, innit? I thought that was beautiful. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought that was great. Just giving it, especially after what happened at the end of the game, like just a bit of banter between sets of supporters. But Flex, I've got no. I think there's a good group there. And I said it after the Young Boys game, like even after that disappointing defeat, we bounced back yesterday. It was crucial we did. And I think Paul Pogba is an integral part of this squad. And I think a renegotiation is always going to be tricky when you've got someone like Raiola as the agent. But I think Manchester United are as keen to get it done as Paul Pogba is. It just depends when. And obviously money comes into it, of course. But I think Pogba's happy where he is.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there for him to be happy. Owen, what are you saying, man? How do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, I would like to say he who shall not be named hung up on me at half-time yesterday, and I'm still simmering. I'm still simmering about it. I don't know if you've seen it, right? Well, there is so much that goes into it. Just because he we're not going to say the name, he said, asked me about my carbon footprint, and I was honest. I went, I don't think I do enough. And he went, you don't do enough? And then I went, oh, what do you do? And he just giggled and hung up.
I was just going to say that because I bet if you ask what he does, he's a loser. I can't. Yeah. Do you know what? We should just make this a him slagging match, you know? Let's just get our feelings out about him. Because this guy, he is a loser, you know, because he probably don't do anything.
And then to top it off, do you know what he did on the match reaction? Sent in a super chat, £2. Like he just flung a £2 coin at me. Like, there you go. Sorry. So I'm going to scramble around, pick it up. Thank you. But go back, Paul Pogba. That's over with.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba.
Talk about him anymore.
I said it before. Like when it comes to Pogba, like I don't know. So I don't know if I totally agree with what Jack's saying that he wants to stay at Manchester United. I don't even think he knows at this point. I really don't. Like that's been my position since the summer. It's a case of I genuinely think when it comes to he's just going, look, I'll see what happens at the end of the season. I'll see if we win anything. I'll see how my relationship is with Ollie, if Ollie's around. I'll see who's around in the squad. I'll see all that kind of stuff. I'll see how other people in Europe are doing. Because if there's no like credible place to go, then you'll just go, I might as well stay. You know, when it goes to PSG, I mean, Messi's gone there, like hasn't set the world alight so far. And the Juventus thing, I mean, relegation candidates at the moment, Serie A, aren't they? They're not doing anything, right? So that whole thing is laughable, isn't it? So I think he's just going to wait and see. And I don't think that's changed in the summer. I don't think that changed after the Newcastle game last week. I don't think that changed after the Young Boys game in the week. I think literally it was just a case. I said it in the press conference that I did last week, that the press conference happened and it was one of the rare times nobody asked a question about Paul Pogba. And I even said it on the stream. That's rare that nobody asked a question about Paul Pogba. And then the very next day, Mino Raiola comes out because it's kind of like, oh, well, no one's talking about Pogba.
Yeah,
get people talking about Pogba again. Get it happening again. And that's kind of, I feel like this is the situation now. When someone makes the noise enough time, you just tune them out eventually. That's it. So I don't know. I don't think we'll see any like dramatic thing happen until the end of the season. I think he's weighing everything up still.
DJ, where do you sit on this? I mean, it's something that like in the summer I was saying loads. Like obviously, if he doesn't sign by the window, every few weeks or maybe every month, there's going to be some form of Pogba rumblings. Is he going to do it? Especially as we get closer to the next window. And that's whether we're doing good or bad. She's always going to be there. How do you sound on it?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at Raiola's comments, man. It's just part of the parcel. I think as United fans, we're kind of used to that now. You know, when there's a little bit of peace, he does sort of like want to. When there is some peace, he'll want to like pop back up and say what he needs to say. I think, you know, if we're looking around Europe and we're looking at sort of like teams for Pogba, let's say if the worst case scenario he does decide to leave, I don't think he's going to find a better group of players at the moment right now to be a part of, because he is one of the figureheads of this brand new United team, if you will. Ollie's finally kind of realizing his dream team, his team that really reflects him. And Pogba is integral to that. So I think he's enjoying being a part of it. I have seen a shift in his sort of his demeanor, body language over the course of the season. And you know, obviously it's early days in the season, so I do think he's biding his time. I don't think he's opposed to going or staying at the moment. I think if you asked him, he'd be honest with you and say, you know what, I'm enjoying my time here, and that is true. He is enjoying his time at Manchester United. In terms of his career and where he probably want to go, I think he's just weighing it up, and I don't even blame him, to be honest. I think he's weighing it up, seeing how well we do, how far we can go. But I do think there's going to be a point where United have to say to him, you know, Paul, and I know you're kind of like seeing where things go, but we need something done now. We need something on paper now. It's just about how they're going to go about that negotiation. So if he stays, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy for him to stay. But if he goes, in terms of the club, United just need to make sure they do the right things in terms of bringing the right people in if he does go and having something in place.
Yeah, I think that is going to be key because it's his last big contract. I said I 100% agree with you in terms of understanding why he's taking his time. Us as fans, we're always gonna be on the side of don't give a shit, mate. Like, you want to play for us, you sign it now. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're people, they're players. This is the job. Do you know what I mean? And he has to. They only get one career, and it's a short one. So he has to think. You know what? In 10 years, would I regret that last bit where I didn't go to Real Madrid, or I didn't try this, or I didn't try that, or does he look at it and say, I regretted staying because I felt like I wanted to leave, but I did. I don't know what Pogba's thinking, but those are the things that, you know, people can think if they make the wrong decisions. I just see it as, the Raiola thing, 100% agree with all of you lot. Like, no one's spoken about it. It's all about Ronaldo. No. I need to get something in there. I need to get something in there. But the interesting thing is that, which we probably never thought we'd be in this situation is, boys, the whole thing of like, when you look at our team and how good it is on paper, like, you look at other midfields and stuff, or not the midfield, but other teams and the players that Pogba could end up with at the drop of a hat. Okay, PSG would obviously always be attractive, but I can't see them bringing in Paul Pogba now. Juventus, like you said, financial difficulties as well. Can they afford his wages? Yeah, it would be on a free transfer, but he would be on big wages. Could they sort that out? And the Real Madrid thing, I think in the summer would probably be interested as well. So There are, but right now there's not many suitors. There's not many suitors, and especially if we keep doing well. Obviously, we're joint top of the league. It's only 5 games, but we are where we are. If this gets to October, November, if this gets to November, let's say, and we're still top or joint top or 2 points off top, just in and around it, doing well, picking up in the Champions League, I don't see why he would go. Well, I don't know. I can't see him giving up. If we do look, we're going to do something special. I think he'll sign. But I definitely think he just finishes off this year, regardless of what happens anyway. I don't think there's any shock he moves in January or anything like that. No. It's whether or not in January he agrees with one of these other clubs. That's the key. Because if we get to January and there's still nothing, that's a real dangerous place to be. Because then we could just wake up on the Monday morning. Oh, well, we signed for PSG. Like what Herrera kind of did. Remember, we just took ages. Then a couple of months before he left, he just announced that, I've signed pre-contract with PSG.
Yeah, pre-contract,
Don't you guys think, though, there's going to be a time where United might have to sort of like step in, and they've given him a few months to sort of, think about it and say, hey, look, we do need something down now, because I don't think United are gonna want to drag this to January, where, as you said, you can have pre-agreements and stuff like that. I do think if Ollie's smart, as I said it a few shows ago, they got to strike when the iron's hot. They got to get him when we're doing the business on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And then once I signed, then he's signed, and that's a bit of security blanket for us as well. So I do think, I'm not sure what the clock's saying, but I think there is a timer on how long we're going to let him sort of decide.
It's got to be in it, because we need to play
and
start chasing things. A lot of people talk about Jude Bellingham. Sanjit super chat here. Sanjit Gill says CM choices in the summer should be Bellingham. That's the list. No other person. He's all in for Bellingham. Bellingham or stick with McTominay and Fred is basically what Sanjit's saying. Only Bellingham. Also, with Lingard's form, is Martial now 7th choice? Well, we're going to get onto Jesse very, very shortly. That's an very interesting question there. And David Naheen says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I think we just accepted that Paul Pogba is having a beautiful GF that constantly wants to threatened us to leave, but doesn't. Paul Pogba's, I'm going to leave the relationship. I'm gone. See you later. But I'm still here. But I still might go.
Why aren't you chasing me anymore?
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Owen? That it's a little bit like that at the situation we're in now? We're kind of just waiting to see what he does.
Maybe. I think I mentioned this before as well. That the problem is, I think in an ideal world, Manchester United would just go to Mina Raiola. You know what? Do one. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm tired of your just going out in the press trying to jeopardize sometimes our season. Big matches, did it last year. The issue is that Manchester United still want Erling Haaland, and Mina Raiola is the agent of Erling Haaland. So we've got to play ball a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we do want him next year. And I think Mina Raiola knows that. He's a bit like, well, look, give Paul Pogba what he wants. You want to keep him as well. You've got to play ball with me, because just one word, I'll just say early, don't bother going Man United. You don't want to go there. Paul hated it there. I'll take Paul, and I'll take Erling before he's even got here. So I think that's what kind of stage it's in at the moment. It's a bit of, a bit back and forth. I think also with the Ronaldo coming in as well, not that Pogba will want Ronaldo wages, but he'll be like, well, look, Cristiano Ronaldo's on a lot of money. I know you've got it. So I want a little bit close to that. They are offering him a lot,
though. They are saying, 400K in that. They are putting respect on his name from what we're hearing, I suppose, So we'll have to see how this one pans out. A lot of people want to talk about Jesse Lingard. Vishal coming through with a super chat as well. Says, hey, lads, good discussion happening here. What are your thoughts about Jesse this season? I was actually happy we didn't let him go and he stayed. He can be a super sub for us as a certain Chicharito. What super sub he was. Jack, let's get into it. The Jesse Lingard thing. I mean, someone just before in the super chat said, could Martial be 7th choice now that Jesse's getting the nod? Was he even on the bench yesterday, Martial? It must have been, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he was.
Just chilling, just sitting there.
Just chilling. The longer that goes on, there's going to be a lot more discussions to have. But is Martial 7th choice? And how are you seeing the Jesse situation now?
Well, we had a fascinating debate, us boys, yesterday on the post-match reaction on the Jesse Lingard stuff, and it was quite interesting because we were talking about the kind of attacking options and the form Jesse's in. If you put him into most kind of mid-table Premier League teams, he'd walk straight into the 11. I'm not talking mid-table. I'm talking like, if he was at West Ham, he'd be starting every week. And it's literally just because we've got so many players that can kind of playing in around his position and play in front of him that Jesse isn't playing. He's in such good form at the moment, Flex, even making his cameo appearances as subs. He's proving what he can do. But I think the biggest thing when it comes to Jesse Lingard is confidence. When he's confident, he's firing. And I was saying yesterday on the post-match reaction, if he went to West Ham in the summer, I think the majority of us United fans would have respected that move. I think him going to West Ham, we wanted him to do well. He did amazingly well last season under David Moyes. And, you can see the West Ham fans obviously gave him, a good reception yesterday when he came on.
Yeah.
Obviously, they still gave him a good reception and that. So I just think it's a big thing with confidence for Jesse Lingard. And if he's willing to be an impact sub, we're talking about him being the impact sub. Like, obviously, the World Cup's coming next year. So he's obviously want to be in the England fray. Is he willing to just be a Carabao Cup type player and just kind of make cameo appearances here and there? Because that's maybe where Jesse Lingard's got he's going to play on Wednesday against West Ham, possibly in number 10 role. I don't know if Bruno's going to play or not, but it's just whether he's willing to do that, because the ability's there, bro. We've seen it. Like, his goal yesterday was a phenomenal finish and a really
Brilliant
difficult
goal.
finish to cut inside and produce the kind of finish he did yesterday was brilliant. But I think we all want the best for Jesse, but it's also like him, how's he feeling? Like, you've got kind of Donny van der Beek's a good player, but he doesn't get in our team. And it's like, he did well at Ajax, and it doesn't mean he's guaranteed to play just because the manager likes him. We've got a plethora of attacking talent, and it's great for us fans because we're keeping competitive and people are staying hungry. But it's just, I want to see Jesse just happy at the end of the day. Like, if he went to West Ham, I would have been happy in the summer. But I respect Jesse and everything he's been through off the pitch. And finally, he's translating it back onto the pitch now. And yesterday's proof of that. But I don't know if Jesse Lingard's the type of player, Flex, that would want to sit on the United bench for too long.
But that's the thing about this, DJ. That's the thing about this. Jack's talking about, wants the best for him, wants to see him happy. He looks happy in this role. Like, I'm not, obviously, like what Jack said, no one's going to be happy not playing 90 minutes every game. You're at that level. You want to play. But clearly, Jesse could have made up noise and said, nah, I'm only going to be a bit part. I can see I'm going to have to earn my way. And, and Ollie said it in I was reading his quotes, basically saying that Jesse made it very clear he wanted to stay here and fight for his place. Jesse wanted to stay. So clearly he's happy doing that and backs himself to do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think I was one of the supporters that wanted Jesse to sort of move on in the summer, because we kind of knew who was coming in and the type of team we wanted to build. And up until that point, Lingard had been a bit part player, even if that's even being a bit generous. Like, we didn't really see him much. And, I was thinking more so bring in these new additions, and Lingard's kind of a memory, not in a disrespectful way, but we're trying to build up the quality of this team. And, by all accounts, if we for a minute put ourselves in his shoes, someone that's grown up and in and around Manchester, who's come through the youth team, who's seen Ronaldo when Ronaldo first came to Man United, and he was just a little kid at the time. And I think what Lingard saw was where this team can go. I think he is sitting there in the dressing room looking at all these players have come in, Sancho, Ronaldo, Varane, and he's actually like, you know what? No, I want to be a part of this right now. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's saying. I want to be a part of this. I am good enough to play. And I think he dug his heels in terms to stay at Manchester United. Whether that's the right reason, the right decision or the wrong decision, it remains to be seen. But what I do know is that when he has a run of games, when his confidence is high, he is an asset to a team, whether it be an impact player off the bench, with his off the ball running, and he is capable of scoring the odd wonder goal, as we've seen over the years. He has that goal he scored against West Ham. He's done that before. Do you know what I mean? So I think Ollie's playing smart, where he's using players' confidence for the better. So give Lingard another run out against West Ham again, get his confidence up. And you know what? If he stays and he can do best for the team, then I'm all behind that. And I said yesterday, I think it's time we all as fans put some respect in his name, because for a long time he has been sort of the forgotten man. He's been that player that we're saying, oh, get rid of him, deadwood. He was part of that deadwood club, but now I think he's showing determination, he's showing grit, and I'm happy that he's there.
Before I come to you, Owen, Salted Caramel says, good name. Salted Caramel says,
name.
Did you guys see? I don't even like Salted Caramel, but it just made me laugh.
No, I love it.
It's too rich. Did you guys see Tim share? Did you guys see Tim Sherwood mention CR7 is back at United to become a manager? I didn't hear him say that. Tim Sherwood says a lot of crazy stuff.
He should still be Spurs manager, according to Tim Sherwood. So.
Owen is ready. Owen is locked and ready, mate. He's not letting anyone.
It's a phone call. It's a phone call flex. I'm very prickly.
Yesterday,
I'm very prickly.
KG's done him. Nireen says,
he said his
United
name.
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to. Where is he? He's a loser. Hasn't showed up. You lot go and spam his comments or at him on social media. Say he ain't even turned up. Where are you? You lot know what to do. Nireen says, Gents, United. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want it. He knew you'd be here.
Doesn't want the confrontation, mate.
100%. United are now second on the most passes list this season for a team that only only counter attacks. Is there a change in our tactics? Says Nireen. Owen, I'll put that one to you actually, and on the Jesse thing. Is there a change in our tactics? We are now second on the most passes list this season after 5 games.
With that one, I would say probably no, because the team we've played have pretty much primarily played low blocks, so we're going to have to do passing. When we still play the big teams, we'll still do counter-attacks, but that's what wins us games against big teams. I'm more comfortable with us playing big teams. Our record's very good against big teams. It's against the teams like yesterday. Not that West Ham isn't a big team, and they didn't really play a low block, but we had a lot of the ball yesterday. Passes, like sometimes stats like that, having a lot of possession, having a lot of passes, they're kind of like meaningless stats sometimes because it is what you do with it. A lot of the time we were just passing it forward, then backwards, then forward, cut inside from the fullbacks, go backwards again. And not a lot really comes of it. But maybe you can look at it as progression. And Ollie ball is what it is. We won the game. I'm not going to get into it. Jesse Lingard, though. I have been not critical, but I was one of those people that was like, he needs to move in the summer for the betterment of his career. He needs to move. West Ham would be a good move for him. He should take it upon himself to force that move through, because I think we'd said before, didn't we, that it was a case of Ollie wouldn't probably block his way if he went up to him and said, you know what, I want to leave, I want to play games. But it was kind of a deal where Ollie was fine to have him stay and Jesse wanted to stay. And for me, I was one of those people like, well, there's too many players ahead of you. Because let's be honest here, like at the moment, if Rashford was in that squad fully fit, would Jesse even be getting on? Would that be Rashford coming on? That's the kind of situation at the moment. But what I will say about it is you can't ask for much more. You can't ask for much more than coming on twice and scoring twice. And if that's what he's doing, then why wouldn't you want to keep him around? Technically, you could say De Gea won us the game yesterday as well, but he scored the winning goal yesterday, and he scored against Newcastle. Game was over at that point, but can't ask for much more. Yeah, you can't.
So is Jesse going to be a super sub then? Is he?
I don't know because if Rashford's there, I'm not sure that he comes on. That's the problem.
Do you know what I'm actually starting to think? And you can think things early on by how things are going, and we know how quickly football changes. In a period of time, I actually really do think Jesse is higher up the list than people.
Do you think Ollie puts a lot more trust in him? I think we may give on
higher up than say who then?
I think he's now higher up than Martial.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's obviously because he came on and Martial sat on his ass. But obviously Martial this year, I think he's going to struggle. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't see when he's going to get a chance to play number 9. Because when Ronaldo's not playing there, Cavani's going to play there. And then if it does go to one of the third or fourth players playing it out of Greenwood and Martial, then it's not going to be very often. So the number 9 situation is tight for him. He can't play on the right. Let's face it. He never plays on the right, does he? So Ollie's not just going to randomly start playing him on the right. And the left-hand side, obviously, is Marcus Rashford's position. Jadon Sancho can play there. And Jesse Lingard can play there. Pogba's been playing there. But then when Rashford comes back, to be fair, Pogba's going to have to start playing central midfield every game. Because he does sometimes put Rashford on the right. So I actually think when we're looking at Jesse now, he might be a super sub or a go-to sub, like one of the first set of subs to come on, or first players to come on. But I don't think he's as far off playing as we actually thought. Well, I can speak for me. I don't know what you guys think. I feel like when I first looked at it, well, only because the circumstances have changed and we can see what the thinking is. Right from the jump, Ollie said, let's not get this twisted. Against Leeds, first game, feels like ages ago now. Leeds on the first game of the season, he said after that game, if Jesse didn't get COVID, he would have played. He had a fantastic pre-season. And I know that football is, life is if, buts, or maybes, whatever. But imagine Jesse did start that game and we still had that same result. He probably would have scored, or say he played well, he would have gotten a team for the next game. And you just don't know where it goes from there, because if you start and get a chance to keep playing like what Mason did, because people weren't ready, he's been ever present as well in the Premier League game. So, and scoring goals. So I think Jesse is actually showing us so far. I know it's only a couple of games where he's come on and impacted the game, but so far, I think he's showing us that he's right to have stayed, because he's like one of the go-to guys. He's getting 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Then you show something in that, you're going to get a start. Like, I think there's a chance if he keeps affecting games. I think there's a chance in a period of time, not overall, in a period of time, he'll play more than Sancho.
Do you know what I think, Flex? I think it comes down to the point where Lingard is showing the hunger, and I think Ollie likes that in his players. He likes players to have a bit of hunger about them. And for me, Martial, we heard rumblings from last season, doesn't really fit that mold of player that Ollie wants. Maybe the ability's there, but in terms of being hungry and working your socks off, it's just not him, And it's not a slight on Martial. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm just saying that hunger, that tenacity. When we was talking about, number 9s getting in the box, like the chances Ronaldo has scored, those are number 9 goals, which Martial has been accused of in the past of not getting on the end of. So we know number 9 ain't going to be his position. Definitely not this season. And on the left,
and even when them two players leave, when Ronaldo gets a bit older, when he needs to leave and Cavani has to leave, again,
in his mid-40s.
Exactly. Even if Martial's even still here by then, if Martial's even still here in the next 2 years, he might get fed up after not playing much this year and move on. That seems like that could happen. But he doesn't let them two go and say, right, I won't go for Haaland or Kane or someone. I'll just put my faith in Martial again. I don't think he does that ever again.
I think he's the sacrifice, personally. I think, and I hate to say it, and I might be writing him off too early, but I do believe he is the sacrifice in terms of when the transfer window comes around, we're going to want to make a little bit of money. And I think he might be one of those players, maybe number 1 on the list, depending from now until then, how much game time and how much impact he has. He could be one of the guys to make way.
Jack, as it stands now, because I get what everyone's saying. KG, sorry, do you know what? I've got to step in because it's getting a little bit.
I've said it. I was starting to feel really bad because I was seeing some of them. It's like characters being questioned.
Guys, you lot know, you lot know that me and especially other guys as well, we're always up for getting KG, but I can't take the slander on his name. That's not fair. To let you guys know, he wasn't actually supposed to be on the show. It just forgot to take it out of the title. But then before we went live, we realized it was there and thought, everyone thinks he's going to be here, so let's just say he was late. But then when it starts to get not funny anymore, people are like, someone put, he's really unprofessional to this channel. That's
bringing the channel down.
I can't let
bringing the channel down. He's so super unprofessional. I was like, geez, this is going quite far.
I was like, I wanted to have a laugh. That's a bit strong.
Yeah.
That's a bit strong. I don't want to tarnish his name. Like, I don't want the next time he comes on here to get some bare pelters and that, saying he's unprofessional.
Exactly.
One thing he isn't is, well, he's unprofessional in one way, but he turns up like he's supposed to turn up. Like, so so he wasn't supposed to be on it. And there you go, Star Lord. He's got his boxing podcast at 8 as well. So after you guys finish watching this, make sure you guys head over to Undefeated Podcast if you are boxing fans and check him and Travis J out as well, because that is what he is doing today. So he's on his way to the podcast. So yes, no more KG.
Yeah, no more slander. He still hung up on me at half time yesterday, which is a joke.
That's true.
That is real
for that.
Owen, next show we're on with KG, I think you've got to call him out. I think it's got to be a real like confrontation.
Check any body, whatever.
But Jack, what are you saying about the Martial situation and how Jesse is going to fit in? Because he looks like he's in the plans for sure.
Well, this is the thing as well. Like Jesse, he can even play on the left. Like you would put him ahead of Martial in that position anyway. And it's like he is becoming more versatile. Like I'd even play him across the front line if he needs to come in and play that 20-minute cameo. And if we're talking about him being an impact sub, I think he's the perfect player to do that. When we're talking about Martial, I totally agree with all you boys. So sorry, I was just reading that Emmy Award winning.
No, just quickly.
Big up Ted Lasso. Big up
Ted Lasso took home a whole bunch of Emmys. He's, you know what I mean. So he's probably offered the stars. He don't care about us no more, man.
He said it's one Marvel movie. It's one Marvel or DC movie.
Yep.
Then numbers are getting deleted.
Retired.
That's it. But yeah, no, Martial. I think he is almost just. There's no place for him now, Flex. Like even he sounds really bad. Like I'm not calling out Martial because
there's no place for him.
Nah, bro. I'm being serious. Like the performances he's even had the chance this season to prove himself, and has he? Like you can talk about match fitness and this and that, and be like having previous injuries, but I don't think he really offers. I don't think. I totally agree with what DJ says. I don't think Ollie is looking at him as a long-term project. And I don't think Martial's a player he can build and kind of take under his wing and develop. I almost think that it's in January, I think we're going to hear a lot of murmurs about him being, ready to exit. Like, because I don't think Martial's the type of player. He's hungry, like, enough in himself to want to play, but Ollie isn't going to play him. And that's, you talk about Wednesday night, we've got obviously the Carabao Cup. I don't even know if Martial plays. If Cavani's fit, then would Cavani just come in because obviously Ronaldo's not going to play because it's League Cup? We'll just bring Cavani in. Then we'll play Jesse at number 10. It's going to be interesting, the team use on Wednesday for me. Like,
I think he'll play on Wednesday.
You think Martial will play?
I think he'll play on Wednesday.
I don't think it's a striker though. I reckon he might start on the left.
Maybe out on the left. Maybe Jesse in a 10 or Jesse on the right. And then, like I said, Ronaldo will probably sit it out. If he has to sit it out and Cavani's not ready, Green will probably go up front, but he could probably get a rest. It'd be good for him to get a rest, but good for Cavani to start. We'll talk about that.
But I don't know if any of you boys are like disagreeing with me, but I think I'm right in saying that like Martial.
As it stands,
I just don't think there's a place.
As it stands now with where the squad's at, confidence-wise, and just how it's performing and who's coming off the bench and stuff. If there was a game tomorrow, well, yesterday showed us what his thinking is. No, how best can I impact this game? Let me get Jesse and Sancho on. And Martial wasn't the choice. So in that game, in that moment, cool. All right. He potentially will get a start against West Ham, which, squad rotation and that. But I don't think he will start against Aston Villa at home.
Yeah, but Flex, you'd have to say he's coming in that game. He's going to have to score, bro. Like, he's going to have to really make an impact.
But even if he does, I don't even think...
He's not start up front, is he?
Exactly. He's not going to get the chance to play up front this season, which means he has to go to the left. And Rashford's, that's his position. Sancho can also play there. And Jesse can also play there. It's 3 guys for that. And it would have been Dan James, but he went. So Chino says, stop getting... This is interesting. Stop getting carried away. We see Jesse does this before and then goes missing for 3 years. But whatever, I'll carry on, says Chino. Has Chino got a point? Are we kind of looking too much into it? It's a couple of games, Owen.
No, man.
Not about the missing for 3 years. I think that's way off.
Yeah, I think it's harsh. I mean, we spoke about this in the match reaction yesterday. There was a period of time, I remember it, I think everyone does, when we had that game against Leicester, and it was the last game of the season. He scored that tap in to make it 2-0. Yeah. Everyone kind of like almost ironically sort of good for you, Jesse. Scored a goal because he hadn't scored one in like 18 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is true. And he has had there was one of Mourinho's season. He was unbelievable for like 6 months. He was, people would call him like Messi, Lingard, all that kind of stuff, right? He does have these kind of situations where he does get go in and out of form. But the thing is, like when it goes back to Martial, it always depends with Martial as well where he wants to play. If he wants to be a striker, because we heard those rumblers, didn't we? Like 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I want to be a striker now. You just have to get through his head that he's not going to be a striker. Or certainly won't be one at Manchester United. It's just not going to happen. And then, like you said, when it comes out to goes to the left, there's a lot of competition out on the left, and you do start to. And I'm not one of those people that's like, because we saw this a lot in the summer about where so and so going to play, or they've got to leave, and it's a case of it's a squad game, people will come in and out. But when it comes to Martial, you do wonder that because he might be so low down now. Is he ever going to go in? You know what I mean? It's not a case of going in. Where is he going to go in? Games like midweek might be the one, but I don't know. I don't know how he comes. Like I said, Premier League certainly. I don't know. I just don't see how he would go in and out of the side. There's too many people. But I said that about Lingard a couple of weeks ago. So
you did exactly. DJ, football's a mad game, and us as fans, we react to what's going on. So at this current stage, what we're in these last few weeks, it has that feel to it. from the other side of things, does it look like maybe he, what Jack and Owen are saying and what people are touching on in the comments, that he's going to find game time limited, or could we see a swing? Could we see actually, no, he's going to get his chance, and you believe he's going to take it, and then he's going to get back in the side? How do you see it?
Well, my thought process behind it is kind of, I do think he will get his chance eventually this season. It's a long old season, so many competitions, so much football to play. And remember, we do have sort of like a young group of players. There is quite a lot of young players in those attacking areas, and they're going to go through phases where they're not playing well. So, Rashford, albeit he's been injured and stuff like that, but Rashford did go through that a few times last season. And, I think Martial's no different. He's going to have times where his confidence is going to be low. It's going to be off form. But I think if we can he'll be part of the squad. We just rotate these players as and when we need, Greenwood might hit a little dip of form. He may have to sit on the bench for a couple of games, bring in Sancho, vice versa, bring in Martial. So it's good we've got options. I do think he's going to get his chance. But at this specific moment, as you kind of said, Flex, this moment in time, he's going to have to bide his time on the bench, get the odd Carabao Cup game. And God forbid if there's any injuries, then maybe even then he might get a little call up. But we'll just have to see. He's young. So young-ish, I would say, actually. Young-ish. So we've got to kind of just rotate when we need to.
I saw an outlet out there in Milan that were basically, so I just pulled it up now, and they were saying cm.com, and they were saying that Manchester United are keeping tabs on Ndombele and Kessie at AC Milan. Should Paul Pogba leave? Thoughts? Anyone?
Ndombele's the type of player. No, Ndombele's the type of player I would like. We're talking about McFred playing. Like, I see Ndombele in the kind of engine room that he is at Spurs. He doesn't even get a chance at Spurs, let's be honest. Like, Mourinho outcast him like miles, and I think that type of player, he outcast him, threw him down the road miles, like Ndombele. But he's the type of player.
It looked like Nuno was going to do that too, and he's come back into the team.
Because it does make you wonder when it comes to potential. When a couple of managers have had the same say on when it comes to like attitude or stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, but you have to wonder about like morale or whatever. Like Kessie, he played really well against us last season. He's a good player. But Ndombele, I don't know. I'm always very like hesitant when it comes to other Premier League like clubs when they're not really in vein with that Premier League clubs. I don't know what you guys think.
No, but he's the type of player, the mould of player that I think would kind of do well in the pivot. But it is very interesting. We were talking literally about McFred yesterday and them playing and us being surprised at the team. Not surprised at the team, shall I say, that McFred played. It's kind of what's going to happen. Sorry, it's their feds. Has someone got feds outside their window? Like,
yeah, I live in South London. This is normal.
It's you saying Ndombele. It's you saying Ndombele that you want to sign him. They're going, okay, that's it.
It's mad, literally.
They say get Jack off the airwaves, bruv. He's on it again.
I've heard that.
No, but Ndombele's definitely someone I'd take Ndombele. You know,
would you take him? I would. Yeah,
I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him. You know what? No, he has shown ability, especially was it last season because when they made that Amazon documentary, he was all over the place, isn't it? Having the meetings with
he had a lot going on, like came from Leon.
There's an Arsenal one filming at the moment. That's the one. That's the one, isn't it?
Well, Arsenal,
even though they've cut out the start,
2 clean sheets, they're back. There you go.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, that's enough about Arsenal. He was all over the place in that first bit. Then he got it together and showed some real great ability. Then it kind of went south as towards the end of Jose's tenure, and as Nuno came in, then he wasn't really in the plans. It looked like he was going to leave, didn't leave. Then I think the last couple of games or whatever, I've started seeing him play. I know people make up lies that I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm actually not. So I don't know how. I don't know how they actually. I don't know.
You go to a lot of United games for a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he goes a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't I can't profess to know exactly how Ndombele is doing, but from what I've seen from outside looking in, it looked like he was off the cards and then he's kind of played a little bit. But that, like what Owen says, I'll just be a bit skeptical about him adjusting here. Is he really where he wants to be? The fitness issues.
Isn't that the type of player that you think we need?
Yeah, you know what? The type, because I'm not going to lie, when he went to Spurs, though, the first time, I was like,
rated.
We should have been in for him. Like, he's been playing with Pogba in the French squad. He's been doing all right. I was like, that was all right. That was all right. But I think there is. I do think there's a player in there. I just don't know if I would take that risk over.
So you'd rather take Kessie. You'd rather take Kessie over.
I'd take Kessie all day, man. Kessie's good.
Kessie's
a good player. Good player. I think he's played at that level there. Part of an AC Milan team. I've watched him closely, man. Assured on the ball, and he runs for days. He's just quality. He's a quality player. He's not world class, but he's a really good player. And I think he's a better fit for me personally than Dembele because I just wouldn't take Dembele anyway. I think the time to have got him has passed. I think he's had a few injuries. Did he have a knee injury or something like that? Dembele, I'm sure he had some form of injury. Sure. Yeah, out for a little bit. Yeah, and his fitness, that's going to be in question. But even I know Kessie's good, but I still think we could even get better than that. Look at the squad we have, boys. There shouldn't be no limit to the type of player.
There's going to be a lot of midfielders. If you go and try and get Ndidi for a big amount and say, listen, we really want you, or Declan Rice. I've heard a few things about Declan Rice as well, which sound promising. I don't know. I feel like he'd be good in there.
That's what I think. I think I would prefer.
Wouldn't it be such an Ollie? Wouldn't that be if Ollie and McTominay? Ollie and McTominay. Declan Rice and McTominay. Yeah,
like a sitcom.
I'm not saying I agree with it. But I'm just saying that is such a Ollie central midfield pairing. I just feel like that whole coaching group, like McKenna, Carrick, Phelan, Ollie. I think they're sitting there going, "Imagine we had Declan next to Scotty." Do you know what I mean?
I think Rice.
Hard workers.
I think Declan Rice is inevitable. I do think next summer he's definitely got to be, obviously we've been linked with Camavinga before he went to Real Madrid, but the age of him, I was a bit sceptical about that signing still. I know he's been tearing it up at Rennes, as a youngster, but an 18-year-old he's played in the French league. It's a big step going to the Premier League with the tempo and physicality of it. But I think Declan Rice is inevitable someone, because I'm trying to think who we're in for, but then we're also saying who makes way? What could our midfield pivot, boys? If you're saying start of next season, kind of next August, what would you say our midfield 2 is going to be?
Pogba might not even be there.
Yeah, Donny van der Beek ain't going to be there.
Donny won't be there.
Are we talking about Pogba leaving though, boys? Is this if Pogba leaves? We're talking about a midfield pivot if he leaves, or with him still at United?
No, I'll say if he's still at United next, because I think
it'll be Pogba and Rice,
August.
Man. Yeah,
Pogba and Rice.
Pogba and Rice. You have
to. So Fred and McTominay, the days that McFred had done.
Yeah, they have to.
If Rice comes,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be Pogba and Rice.
What do you think?
That's what was funny about yesterday, though, because when the starting lineups came out, they went, West Ham's got a better midfield than us. And it's kind of true.
Souček and Rice.
It's true. It's true. They went Souček and Rice, and everyone went, you'd have them. United.
You would.
Over what we got, you know what I mean? You would go, but I don't know. I think that when it comes to next year, they know we need a central defensive midfielder. All those reports have come out basically said it's basically they want Haaland because everyone wants Haaland next season because of the release clause, and then it's defensive midfielder. And I think that we'll do what we did this year. The majority of our budget, because Haaland's actually for his standards is relatively cheap. Next year, the majority of the budget will go on the defensive midfielder. That's what we kind of have our each, and we kind of have our franchise signing. You know what I mean? And the majority of the budget goes on them. That's the focus. It was meant to be Sancho this year, and then the Varane one just kind of happened because of the contract thing, and then Ronaldo just happened. But the sort of franchise one was meant to be Sancho. I think it'll be the same next summer. I think they'll go all out for maybe Rice. Or maybe they'll have their alleged recruitment department doing all their reports at the moment, all that kind of stuff, figuring it out. But I like Bissouma as well. I think he's ready to step up. I think he's ready.
Yeah, well, Bissouma, some quotes from Bissouma just coming from the Brighton website. Just quickly, Ian Banbury says, could Dortmund go for Martial after Haaland leaves? And Blue Abadai, haven't seen that
Love that
for
name.
a while. Yeah, great name. I think when we read it out, they want us to just do a little karaoke rendition.
It is the picture as well.
Yeah, proper from the video, that is, isn't it? Rice made one good run, and people say he's good enough for United. Overrated English player. Interesting thought. I've said many times before, and people were getting on to me. DJ's nodding, so I think one of these conversations could have been with you. And I was saying about the likes of Bissouma, the likes of Rice. I say I'm not saying they're not better than Fred. Of course, I am saying they're better than Fred. Just saying for the levels of Man United, how much more levels are they up That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but do you not think Rice has
Rice
proved that for
than-
England playing alongside
I think
Phillips for England?
Rice,
He's proved that more going up them couple of levels.
Rice has proved I think he could play at our level. 100%.
Yeah, off in the Euros. Even just
you know, there are still bits of his game that I question, but on a whole, I think he's very dependable, very reliable, strong, can travel with the ball, decent on the ball as well than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Good pass on him, good strike with the ball. And I think I actually have kind of gone more into the camp. I do think he would be perfect for us currently now. Like if we had Rice in there next to Pogba, or even Rice and McTominay, like right now, that would actually be all right. But what worries me with that is with our coaching setup, having two players that are straight engines and straight energy, and which is what we have now. McTominay and Fred just really, you know, just go. I want us to be able to play ball. You know, I really want.
So you think one that kind of sits deeper, and then one that goes.
Yeah, and that's why I think that's where probably Bissouma could come into it. He said he was asked basically about, you know, why didn't you go to United or Liverpool or someone this season, and he basically said, and this is quote. He says, "My dream is like every player. I want to play in the Champions League. I want to be champions. I want to compare myself on the top level, not just with other players." He also, when he was asked why he didn't join Man United, Liverpool, or Arsenal this summer, and this is on the official Brighton. This is coming from official Brighton, I think, apparently. What did sitting down in front of the media saying, "Why are you still here?
Why are you here? Why are you here? Have you said it?"
Does that literally come from their thing? Has it? Wow.
Maybe they wanted to frame it as like, oh yeah, I really wanted to stay here because I really believe in the project. And basically he's responded as, no, I'm ready, we made a good offer. So I would have.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this is coming from, you know, MUFC, MPB are quite good and they get their quotes right. And they've quoted the official Brighton handle. So I'm assuming it's come from within the club. Anyway, he says, when my time will come. So I didn't go this summer. Maybe it's, which we know, maybe it's because it's not my time to go. When my time will come, it's my time. But I'm happy in Brighton. I'm enjoying playing football. So that's the media answer that you're going to give in it. But clearly, obviously, he's got aspirations to leave, which you don't need to be a rocket scientist to work that out. But he'd be a good option as well. And we're over 1,000 people watching as well. Smash a like on the video. Love that.
Big up.
Rice for me is the pick. Yeah, Rice for me is the number one pick, man. It has to be. I think Bissouma will be on the list because, you know, Ollie and his list, he likes his list. So I do think Bissouma will be on the list. And I think you can give Brighton, 35 million for Bissouma. Maybe that's even a push for them.
It'd be more. I think
it'd be more.
Yeah. Premier League prices, my friend. Premier League prices, my friend.
Ben White just went for 50 million.
Ben White, and that's from the same club.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, right, that's the central defender, same club.
50 minimum now.
50, maybe even 60. And the thing is, when
they're fourth in the league. Well, I know,
like, Champions League.
January, they might not be, but you know. But they're doing well though. Logic, they're going to want to. He's their next best player after Ben White just left.
Yeah, with that logic, we might as well just, if you're going to spend that much on Bissouma, you might as well just go for Rice, innit? You might as well just go for Rice.
Yeah, if we get Rice and Haaland next summer, though, it's like a super team we've got. Like Ronaldo and Haaland.
Does that happen? Does that happen? So let me put this to you guys.
That's scary. That is scary.
That's what I was going to say. So Cavani leaves at the end of this year, which is almost nailed on. Let's say we know that's going to happen.
Yeah,
probably going to play very limited games as well. Exactly. In the same space, would we still go? Well, because we have to, because he's available. Would United still go for Haaland then? Even though Ronaldo's still there, and just work it out after.
Yes,
I think the Ollie links as well. The Ollie links is massive.
I agree.
Just do it, and then again, if you're a good coach, find solutions. Go. I've got to change the way I play now because I've got to figure out how to get into the team.
What? You have to go 4-4-2.
Yeah, or just 4-3-3. Or just you find solutions, don't you? That's what you got to do. We're going to bench Ronaldo. No, you're going to bench Haaland. No, so. Figure out a way. Good options to have.
Rashford's sitting out then. Exactly. Rashford's got to sit out then if Haaland comes in. Because
Ronaldo on the left.
Yeah, I think that will have to happen on Haaland.
I don't think it's the same. At 37.
Can't play Ronaldo left wing. Balance would be awful. No. Against some teams you can actually. But
maybe two up front then, 4-4-2.
That's what I'm saying. The 4-4-2, mate. I can't see Ollie doing that. Amir says, my head, this is interesting. My head says Fred is okay, but my heart says otherwise. I get very anxious. I get very anxious when I see he's on the ball. I don't think I trust him, but it's Ollie's call. That's a good way of putting it, Amir, because you try and back Fred's corner a lot. Well, I do. I'm not blindly because I know he's not good on the ball. I know exactly the deficiencies he's got in his game, but he does give you some good attributes. And I know that KG said running is not enough, and it isn't. We need better than Fred. But when he does put in a good performance and he leaves his heart on his sleeve, he's rushing into tackles and he hurries people. He can be okay, but we can see on a consistent basis, Owen, like he's just not good enough.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
being honest.
and like you see, it's like technical ability is just not up to standard of certainly not Manchester United. I don't even know. You could be talking about top half clubs, stuff like that, ridiculous. But my only counterpoint to that is when people will say that and they'll go, "Oh, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible." Well, like, I'm with you. I agree. But right now, like, who would you rather have? If you say Matic, he's just not going to play every game, and if you say
Matic, I would play Matic more than he's playing.
Me and DJ said after the Newcastle game, like DJ said, he was like, if this was like a 5-year younger Matic, can you imagine? Like we wouldn't even need to have the conversation.
Well,
about
I'm saying
getting
he doesn't
another
need to play. The thing
midfielder.
is with Matic, okay, we've got midweek games now, so the games are going to start coming thick and fast. Matic can play one game a week. Like we played yesterday we played yesterday on Sunday. You're trying to tell me that Matic, if he doesn't play on Wednesday, he can't play against Villa on Saturday and have his rest? He can play.
Depends though if they're like really strenuous.
He was getting leggy towards the end of the Newcastle game. Like towards the end of the Newcastle game, that was just one game.
Did he start that game? He didn't start. Did he start?
Yeah, because
he
had like
started
Fred.
He started against Newcastle.
But he started with Pogba, didn't he?
Yeah, because he didn't have.
Pogba.
We thought Fred wasn't going to play.
Oh yeah, McTominay.
And then McTominay and Donny still didn't start, by the way, which says everything that needs to say, doesn't it?
You
had two midfielders.
In that Newcastle game, I was actually bigging up Matic though for how well he played.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like I mean, but like 75th minute, you could tell he was leggy, even in that game.
But then take him off and bring on Fred for 15 minutes. Cool, got no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. But would you then be able to play him midweek?
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't play him midweek after that. But then you give him a whole week off, and then he's ready for the next Premier League game.
Yeah, but the thing about Matic
is one game a week.
Even yesterday, like I was saying, like he came on and you could tell he was breaking the lines between defence and attack. He was the assist provider for Jesse's goal. Like he made an impact just coming on for that cameo.
And you know when he made that pass, Jack? There's a Southampton player. There's a West Ham player. Don't know who it is, trying to desperately slide in to intercept that pass. And he's fizzed it through. Now, I know it looks like a basic pass, but you picked up on it, Jack. You're spot on. Like, it's passing between the lines. And to see it that late on in the game, when the stakes are high, that puts Jesse into a position. Look, it's not an assist because Jesse's got bags to do after that. But if Matic goes, I don't think I can get it through there, let me just go sideways. In that moment, we don't score. Now, I'm not saying that's why he should play every game, but I'm saying in generic money, he proves that he can do it. KG, I don't know how he's managed to come in the chat. He's supposed to be getting ready for his pod. KG the comedian says the money has changed me. Emmy settings. It has.
Bro, that's
the money
big up
has
KG and the Emmys, man. Big up KG with
he didn't. He put a $5 in this time, £2 just to buy my
it has changed him. No, but that's what I'm saying. He normally puts £2 here. The money has changed him. He's gone up by £3, bro. The Emmy's got him. The Emmy. You know what I'm saying? Owen's not having it.
Guys, you know about Matic quickly, just on the Matic thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I just think, kind of what you said, Flex, I think if we can treat Matic as the first teamer and have sort of like Fred as his backup, so if Matic can only play 70, 80 minutes, whatever it is, and then, I think that'd be a good plan. But also you can see the difference when Matic is in this team. Like, we just play so much better.
I just think there's a more calming influence in midfield. And look, he's not perfect. Of course, he's going to give the odd ball away. Of course, someone's going to be able to run past him because he's not quick if he gets caught and is out of position. Mate, I see people do that to Paul Pogba when he's out of position, gets caught in midfield and he's running back, nowhere near tackling. Like, you have to be exceptionally good at that type of job to be able to do it. But I just feel that out of what we currently have in that position, Fred's horrendous on the ball. McTominay, innit? He is.
And also, you talk about exactly. You talk about passing range, though.
I'm fed up of keeping it in now. He is awful on the ball.
Yeah,
he is. He is
diabolical.
He is.
And the thing is that I just think Matic should be. I think where we can use him. Yeah, you got to look after him, but he should be. I think the starting midfielder, and then.
But in a big game, if you had, say, you're playing Man City this coming weekend, right? Say you play Manchester City, would you have Matic and say McTominay, or do you think we do need someone that has a bit more mobility and a bit more energy? Because And I'm not being like, oh, Ollie defender, but I can see the rationale of being like, I just don't know if Matic has the energy needed to win that ball back if we need to, because we're playing counter-attack. You know what I mean? I can understand. It's like if you could merge Fred and Matic together, actually have someone that can pass between the lines and win it back quickly, then that's what you need for a counter-attack. But that's part of the problem. I mean, well, I'll put it to you. Who would you play if you were playing a big team? Would you play Matic? Or would you go with McFred?
Well, he went with McFred a lot last season in the bigger games when we're playing on the counter-attack. And it's, Man City away last season, Liverpool, he went with McFred. But I would probably agree with Owen that Matic would be my preferential choice.
Because also, one thing is being able to run around against teams like that. But another thing, which is arguably more important, is to be able to keep the fucking ball against teams like that. Isn't it?
That's true.
Like,
that's not just a Fred thing. You see yesterday, for like 10 minutes yesterday, nobody could keep the ball. It was outrageous.
It was horrendous. And I just think for every time you kind of think about the energy and why McTominay and Fred are the go-to, and Ollie's made his mind up that he prefers that, I think you have to also look at the other side. I don't see Rodri's not super fast. Run around everywhere.
True. But he does the job.
Kante obviously is. Fernandinho is not super fast. DJ's just gone. He's had enough.
DJ's dead.
Can't handle these hot takes.
Exactly. Fernandinho is not that. He doesn't run around everywhere. And I just think some of the really good midfielders, Jorginho, who controls the tempo and is a very good player, he doesn't run around everywhere. People were calling for Neves.
Although he plays with Kante, though, doesn't he?
It does for anyone who plays with Kante gets a pass. That's a bit different.
Yeah, exactly.
Fabinho can cover ground, but he's not rapid, So it's about the decisions you make on the ball and how you keep the ball. And what I think Matic does give us is that kind of calmness and that ability to pick out passes and just be calm on the ball. Brian says, "Flex, you missed my super chat. Apologies, Brian. I think adding Kim Min-jae to the roster will change the requirement of having McTominay and Fred forwards." I don't know much about him. I'll be honest. I did check that he's a real player, so he is. Is a real player. Yeah, he's called the Monster, and he currently he's a centre back for Fenerbahce, South Korean player. So no, we're not getting
tremendous.
Yeah, but I don't know about him. I'll be honest. I have no idea, to be honest. So. I'm guessing you must really rate him. Maybe he would change the complexity, but I don't know enough about him, to be honest. And is there another super chat here? Super chat from Blue Abadi Abadai before we finish off. Says Pogba is amazing for France and Maguire is great for England, but both of them have not been consistent.
Maguire was poor yesterday. He was poor yesterday.
Oh, he was bad. He was bad. Great for England, but wouldn't suit United when we have McSauce. So I'm Blue Abadi Abadai saying I'd rather stick with McTominay. We don't need Rice.
No, we need Rice. we need Rice. We need Rice.
Yeah.
We need Rice.
That was a bit of a thing. I was saying, how much better is he than McTominay?
I think
he can do a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, I just think he's better. I think he's a more polished player. Do you know what I mean? He's more polished and he's a little bit more technical for what we need in the middle of the park. Like, did you see when McTominay was running back towards goal with the ball and he miscontrolled it and it went all the way out? I was just thinking, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
We wouldn't see that. Brian has another super chat. Says, Man United seem to always miss out on key Asian players like since Park. We should have had Son and Kim Min-jae easily. And Kevon says, I'm confident Ghana will come back next year and be the CDM we need. Can't see that, Kevon. Can't see that, if I'm honest. I think we go and buy. I think we go and buy the player that we're looking to get. Just quickly, last thing, David De Gea.
Yes,
definitely number one now. I mean, Dean Henderson when he gets back fit, has he got it all to do?
He does. He does.
Jack.
I'm sorry, Jack.
I've got no words. I've got no words because I can't lie. Like I've pushed this Henderson agenda completely, but at the end of the day, I'm a fan just like the rest of us. Like I'm not crying. I'm crying inside. I'm not crying outside. He's playing for the under-23s though, so he's working his way back to fitness.
Yeah, he is.
But let's be honest. Like De Gea, like. We talk about his penalty record. I literally said to my dad, I was watching the game at home, and I was saying when Noble stepped up, I thought it's destined to go in. Noble's penalty record, even though they were talking about the fact they subbed him on and he weren't warmed up. But Noble scores penalties for fun. I don't think he's missed it was an insane stat. Like that's the first one he's missed in X number of games or whatever. But De Gea's
You know,
penalty
he's got the
record
second best. He's got the second best record after Lewandowski.
It's insane.
Mark
It's
Noble.
insane. Mark Noble. So the fact
Noble
De Gea saved
has
it,
the second best.
You got to be good
He
at
has the
something, don't you? Find your talents.
best record after
Yeah, but
Robert
Flex,
Lewandowski.
you were sitting there. You were sitting there in the game.
Insane.
Yeah?
What a player! No, I rate him.
You were sitting there in the
100%.
game, yeah, and you thought he'd put that away. You must have been
100%.
sitting there thinking, yeah.
Bro, as soon as I was like, I looked like a right dickhead yesterday. No, not in the end. Not in the end, but you know when you're in there, yeah, because obviously, especially away, when you're away, yeah, the home fans are giving it to you. You're giving it, yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do at games. That's what you do.
No. Well, some
Professional.
Yeah. Turn it to like a 15-year-old.
There's a reason why I don't do match day vlogs, mate. There's a reason, yeah. I let you not see me inside there, yeah. But basically, obviously, we scored in the last minute, and a lot of fans. I'm not participating in this. A lot of fans.
You were giving it. You were giving it. Mad.
No,
He was giving it. He was like,
go on.
Why are you ashamed of it, Flex? Why are you ashamed of it? Come on.
So
Can't be real.
We're all laughing at the West Ham fans just there because obviously there's like 2 minutes to go. We've scored, whatever. We're doing. He's one of our own. Jesse Lingard. He's one. Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah. And then,
Nice.
then obviously the pen happens, and then you see the ref go to the thing, and you're like, oh, as soon as he goes over there, it means it's going to be a pen. Otherwise, they wouldn't tell him to go look at it. Yeah. And then when I saw Mark Noble coming on that pitch, I swear to you, I just sat in a chair. You know, at away days, you don't even sit down. I just sat in there. I goes, oh my God, he never misses. The guy next to me and the guy next to me, even the people behind me, they were like, David never saves him, man. Fuck's sake, can't believe it. And everyone was just sat there. And you saw the scenes when he saved it. The scenes. Oh, I'm still living them now. It was incredible. It was pandemonium.
What I liked is that De Gea saved it, and there was just no reaction till after the game was over as well. He saved it and just sort of went back into his goal as if he went. Can't say penalties. Won you the game, mate.
Yeah,
love it.
It took me however long. What was it? The last one was 2016, Goodison Park, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yo, Flex, quick question, yeah. Quick question. Sorry, I just remembered. What is a penalty nowadays? Maybe that's for another show, but what is a penalty?
Yeah, that was.
I honestly don't know what a penalty is anymore.
The referee with all of that, like we were saying before we even went on live, like
literally 2 minutes before.
It overshadowed that De Gea made the save. But honestly, the referees, whoever does like the quality, because they get rated by the Premier League, whatever. Yeah, it should be like an F and just be like, for F off. Because that was terrible. Because it was shocking, and it's a complete failure of VAR and the referee. Atkinson retired.
I would call him Twatkinson.
Tremendous. Who did that? Yes, very good.
I don't know how Ronaldo didn't get at least one penalty. Rio,
no, that's Zuma one. 100%.
Rio said that he thinks that referees won't give Ronaldo like stonewall penalties out of fear of pandering to him.
We literally said that.
We said that.
Yeah, but that's what VAR is for. That's what VAR is for. That's the whole point of you made a mistake. Go and have another look. He didn't even have another look. They just bothered.
Yes, fake. And you said it to me when you messaged me, didn't you? Because I was like, obviously in the ground, it happened so quickly and it came and went with no pens. And we just thought, oh, well, it just must have clearly not been. They didn't even check. And Owen was like, nah, when you see these, like, they're stone walls.
Wait, are we talking about
actually the Zuma one more so?
Yeah, the Ronaldo one.
Is not a pen. I mean, all right, the
Flex
one
messaged me. He was like, I'm not sure. Was it a penalty? I didn't see it. I was like, was it a fucking penalty? I was kind of better. Because it was ridiculous.
You got to remember, you're at West Ham. You need the binoculars, mate.
It's far, isn't it?
It is
you
so
say
far.
Binoculars.
Binoculars, bro. That's what you need. It's so far. You can't see shit. Even when Ronaldo scored, luckily there's a bit of reception in there, so I could see what actually happened. Like, because it's so far, I couldn't see how Fabianski saved it, and then he tapped it. Couldn't see. You just see the net start moving and Ronaldo running off with the ball. You can't actually see. Unless it's down this side. But anyway, guys, 6 show as usual, man. Fun stuff. And Blue Abadi Abadai says F to find a new job. That's what the F stands for.
It's more polite.
A bit more polite than what Owen said. Guys, big up yourself. Smash a like on the video if you're new to the channel. And make sure you guys subscribe. Road to 75k / road to 100k. We are creeping, we are growing, we are building an amazing community here at United View. Jack, where can the people find you? Big up your socials.
At Jack Mirko United. That's Mirko. And just for everyone who wants to know my kind of heritage, because I get all these Nemanja Matic vibes, this and that. Like, am I related?
Mirkovic.
You know,
What is that?
yeah,
Eastern European?
No,
Or
it's
Croatian?
Serbian. I'm Serbian.
Serbian.
Yeah.
Oh, Serbian. Okay.
Half Serbian. But Nemanja Matic is not my father. I could go and like, I'm not going to put my dad on camera.
It's
but
not.
It's Djokovic.
Dean Henderson. It's Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson.
Djokovic's uncle. Dean Henderson's his brother.
Dean Henderson is not related to me.
DJ, where can the people find you?
Yeah, guys, you can find me at DJ Talks _. That's me on the socials. And get at me on Twitter, man. I like getting involved in the mess a little bit. Let's have a conversation even after this. So yeah, get at me, DJ Talks _.
Big up, Owen.
At Mr. Owen MUFC, and follow United View TV as well. 11K.
There you go. 100%.
Cool.
Growing. Look at that. Exactly. Smash the like in the video, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Flex and KG show tomorrow, and we'll have a preview for the West Ham game as well. So we'll see you all very, very soon. We're out of here. Peace.